In the final episode of the series, The Midnight Gospel, Clancy's exchange with his mother reveals that at times it can be harder to sympathize or deal with the pain and death of those we care about more than ourselves. That is to say, sometimes the pain of others matters more to us than our own. Throughout the show, while Clancy is filled with excitement to explore his understandings of reality and relation to existence, making actual lasting progress is very difficult. At one point he finds enlightenment, and then says it didn't actually happen a day later. He makes excuses for why he isn't able to get around to taking care of himself and things he needs to get done. Throughout the final episode, the visuals and animation express the progression of Clancy struggling with and then accepting his mother's death, and why that journey of pain was more important than ones where his own self was the focus. Upon seeing his mother, Clancy's form morphs into a child version of himself, a way of showing the ingrained way he subconsciously views his mother-son relationship, both as his parent and as the one who gave birth to him. After she wipes his tears, we see a portion of how the affinity he has for his mother is locked in time. They are guided by cute bears, there is a warm color palette, and the sky is clear as she holds and cleans him. As they enter a nursery, they discuss how everyone's earliest years form the lifelong basis of personality. Clancy seems to be talking about the beginning of life to evade the coming topic of his mother's mortality. As they continue to talk, Clancy starts aging into adolescence and his mother starts to grow older in appearance. His hair has grown out, as hers adds silver and gray. Clancy eases into the main topic of death by asking his mother how people can live with guilt and fear. How do they keep flowing with the river of life's energy when they are broken? Clancy's mother is now leaning on him to walk as they enter a glowing chamber. Her advice is to get present. She states that if we can learn to perceive and sense ourselves from the inside, our state of consciousness changes. After teaching Clancy a method to be present, his mother transforms into a luminescent mushroom, representing her physical death. Her memory and energy fall from the mushroom into Clancy. Clancy yells in pain as she and her energy are reborn as a memory through him. As Clancy remembers his mother's advice of being present, his form ages as he sympathizes with the feelings his mother must have had being close to death. His beard grows and he becomes weary at the thought of his mother's confrontation with death. This portion is also highlighted as a memory after her death by the mentioning and visuals of being out of space and time. He remembers her explaining the flowing energy of reality, likening it to a river, and how most people are not aware of it or fight it due to a lack of presence. His mother retakes the original form she had when the audience was first introduced to her. Clancy is having a conversation of self-doubt with her memory, which believes in acceptance of self and reality by being present. As Clancy wrestles with how to react to difficult life events when we are conditioned to do so poorly, his mother explains those moments will happen, and they are difficult, but they are also when we are given the chance to grow the most. Clancy is now limping and is being held up by the memory of his mother, who explains why she was so calm about the pain that was approaching her before she died. She says there is nothing that you can do to fight the river, so you must make peace with it. As a last plea, Clancy asks, after you have accepted the truth of another person's death, how do you deal with the heartbreak? His mother simply responds, you cry. A physical and mental acceptance of ego death. Although it is difficult, with the help of his mother's energy and memory, Clancy has now fully accepted her death, even if it hurts terribly. As she describes how truth breaks open our hearts, their forms are taken up into a river of energy. Clancy is now able to flow with the river again. As their figures become cosmic, Clancy has become present with the universe in the same way that his mother did before him. A striking part of this episode is that with all the self-exploration Clancy has gone through during the series, the most impactful and growing encounter that he has is that of someone else's pain and death rather than his own. The journey of acceptance with his mother's confrontation of death. He says, "This thing has probably been the greatest run-in with truth that I've had in my whole life." While we try to take our health and existential reality seriously, often it is only with the help and companionship of others that we are pushed to challenge our guilt and failures. But the wonderful thing, as Clancy's mom said, is that kind of love isn't going anywhere.